Jimmy Uso, say it ain't so. How un-Usy of you. You got your brother to leave the Bloodline, and then you destroy him and attack him in a title match at SummerSlam? What the hell happened? What's next for the Bloodline going forward? Just giving you a quick recap, Jey Uso went to war with Roman Reigns in a highly anticipated tribal combat match for the WWE Universal Championship, a title that Roman Reigns has held since 2020. And just when he was just a second away from taking it from Roman, from ending this prestigious title reign, Jimmy Uso, a hooded figure, appeared and attacked his brother. Yes, oh, what's next? Why did Jimmy turn on his brother? What does this mean? When are we getting that brother versus brother match? And can you just have my money for that match right now? Some are already saying, though, this feels like a big step back for the Bloodline storyline, simply having Jimmy rejoin the faction or tolerating so much abuse from Roman Reigns just to go back to him. Yeah, kind of a yo-yo, a bipolar approach to the whole thing. Perhaps this was WWE's way of wanting to protect Jey Uso while also trying to keep the belt on Roman, which is understandably enough, but it seems like a long way to get to a short outcome. To many, Jey was very much the right and ethical man to dethrone Roman Reigns, but money says otherwise. Roman Reigns is bankable right now. Vince Russo kept repeating that it's much better off for the Bloodline storyline to end within the family rather than someone outside of it, but it looks like the latter is what's going to happen. In terms of Jimmy Uso, it looks more resentful, an attack on his brother, a personal issue to cost him the world title. But we wouldn't be surprised in the least if Jimmy is going back into his position at the side of Roman Reigns. Sure, you could argue Jimmy has some reason to be jealous of his brother because it was the latter who benefited while Jimmy was injured in 2020 in the early part of 2021. But when you look at how things played out in recent months, Jey essentially gave up the opportunity to be Roman Reigns' successor just so he could join his brother. Yeah. The Civil War match at Money in the Bank was a perfect example of why the Usos are the best and most emotionally investable tag team in the world right now, and their unity far surpassed their loyalty to the brand that was the Bloodline. Them as brothers was a hot, new, fun, revived act. But it's crazy to think that the freaking Usos, who've been together for 13 years, will now be separate characters. But that also feels like something you could have gotten to at some point. They do feel like big individual stars now. So let's go into some of the problems with this heel turn and what it's going to mean. For one, Roman Reigns is unlikely to defend the Universal Championship anytime soon. Yes, another opportunity where Roman Reigns utilized Solo Sikoa to win a title match and keep it until we don't know when. In fact, his SummerSlam bout against Jey Uso was his first singles match since he defeated Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39, making it a full 4 months between two televised title matches. And it should be mentioned that Roman Reigns is not advertised for any upcoming premium live events, at least that we can see so far. We expect some, but when, we just don't know. This doesn't mean that he won't be wrestling at all, but he's likely an indication that his matches are going to have larger gaps in between them. Yeah, that whole featured star status is becoming harder to work around. One of the moments we have to mention is Solo Sikoa, who seemed to be in disagreement with Roman Reigns, at least on turning on him. Yeah, some people still think that's something that's simmering underneath the surface. This wasn't the first time Roman Reigns literally laughed on SmackDown when the Usos suggested that Solo should be the next tribal chief. The breakup between Solo and Roman is inevitable, but it is not going to come as soon as we might think, given that there are those standing rumors that now suggest that Roman Reigns will have that epic rematch at WrestleMania 40 or another big event with Cody Rhodes. That seems to be the target for when WWE could finally end his title run. But then you have also conflicting reports from Fightful Select saying that Roman and Paul Heyman know exactly when this title is going to end, and they will end it and make someone in the process. Is that someone Cody Rhodes, or is it someone else? It seems like a match against Solo is going to happen, possibly making him the last member of the Bloodline to defect from the group. What this match seemed to confirm is that we are going to get the 2 future bouts between the Anoa'i family members, Roman versus Solo and Jimmy versus Jey. For the Usos, this is a dream match, but only if it happens at WrestleMania. We asked Jimmy Uso a few years ago what he thought about a possible single superstar run, and this is what he had to say. Another dream match would be me versus my brother at WrestleMania. I grew up watching Brett versus Owen in a cage match, and they beat the living hell out of each other. I thought what they did was really good, and they've been doing that all their lives. That's the same way I see us whenever we get the chance for that to happen. As someone who literally saw Owen versus Bret Hart inside that blue bar steel cage at SummerSlam 1994 with my little brother right next to me, I can say I completely feel this. To take on your own family member on the biggest wrestling stage of the year, WrestleMania, is something to truly aspire to. And we can already hear people say, how do they drag this out to get to WrestleMania between these 2 brothers for 8 months before they step into the ring with each other? 8 months? They've been doing the Bloodline since 2020. You don't think they can get this storyline, which is based in their actual blood, them being actual family members, to WrestleMania? Come on. Try to have attention span that's longer than a Snapchat video. And you already hear the boo birds chirping online that Jimmy versus Jey should not be wasted on a premium live event like Payback, when it makes those events mean more. So we can't do it for 8 months, but don't give it to me right away. What do you want? Still, there's the counter argument that WWE has worked themselves into a corner just by good circumstances. They have to meet some expectations that maybe haven't been met depending on who you talk to. This wasn't one of those high-end Bloodline moments. Some saw it as simply, let's do this now and figure it out later, which we hope isn't the case. But no matter what, you're getting Jimmy versus Jey. You're still getting Roman Reigns. It's not all that bad. What did you think of SummerSlam's main event? Let us know in the comments below. Check out more videos from Sportskeeda Wrestling and subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcast audio on Spotify, Apple, or other podcast apps.